Well, Bill, we get through here. All right, 6 p.m. on November 14th, 2023, I bring the study session for the board of directors policy about policy for. Okay, one first, on the Delta grant, if you look under your section, yellow section, the first one, they did award them $1 million grant. This is some the project on this, so we want that. Discussion, American Water Works Association. I was able to get a hold of them today. It cost us $365 for a yearly membership. I believe it is well worth it. They have a lot of learning stuff that goes in it. They also have water surveying software and different things that I think we need to use. That would be able to assist us in that. Any questions or concerns about it? No, you never looked through and took a look at it. Yeah, I did have one idea. I did print off a brochure from them. I didn't go, and they, pretty easy to find online. But I have a brochure here. If anybody would like to look at it.
I think it's one just for the water audit software alone. I agree.
Okay. Next, buy and sell agreement parcels 472 4404008 and 472 440 44009. This was brought over from the last meeting. It is the cargo units in South Park. I can show you. It would be in would be this area. There's 2 condo lots. That's it. One of the things that
They're in Southport.
they're in South Park. There's 2 condos there, 4 condos now. Condos, and then there's 2 more condos, 2 more lots over on the other side of that. We don't have anything over in that area where.
Well, the water and sewer comes up the main driveway. Now, I don't remember, these 2 parcels, I think, are to the southwest.
They're north out
Or northeast, yeah. So, I mean, there's water sewer there. I mean, they're gonna have to bring it to our utility.
Yeah.
So,
and with that, he also put in, because we talked about the last time, that the property around it is owned by somebody else. Well, I guess he has purchased that property now. That was the parking area for those companies.
It's an interesting layout.
Yeah, it's if you look at the property here on the map that I gave you, you'll see the 2 condos. Well, a lot of that area that was around it is all owned by somebody else, and he's took that off to do that. He is offering $6,000 for both of them. Like I said, there is water and sewer there.
but it will have to be brought to us.
Yeah, which is in the street, or on the side of the street. When you say we'll have to drop to us, aren't those townhomes that are there now? They're hooked into us.
Yes, but these 2 properties are off to the south. That's what, probably 200 yards?
No, there's about 100 to 150, I think, from where the water line and sewer line is.
But anyway, they would have to, at their expense, to bring that in to us, not us.
About 500 feet.
No, I'm thinking more about anywhere from 150 to 200 foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
feet of yards,
Feet.
feet.
So where are these in, where are these in relation to the existing townhomes?
They're going to be east of them. They're gonna be east,
They're right next to it,
yeah,
right next to it.
So the existing townhomes are on this map,
yeah.
are the ones to the west side or to the left side of that?
Let me look at it.
Now, you mentioned that has to bring the water to you. Is that the same with all 40 of those condo sites? In that circle there?
Yeah,
yeah,
That's what
you would have to tap
Yeah,
in
bring
to
to
them,
the
yeah.
street.
they're
Yeah.
just north of those present condos. And
It's
No worse
Yeah.
than on the street.
Did you get that one? Mr. Chairman? If you're looking at your map here, it's to the left and kind of almost in a vertical pattern. Those 4 condo
those
spaces are,
are the townhomes that are there.
yeah. I've got a question.
Go for it.
So, this part I was a little bit confused on. I'm not sure is there a well on these properties?
no,
So seller agrees to supply required information to buyer about the well? That's in the contract here. Is that just nonsense or
Not check,
2.7.3?
not check.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was reading down through this and I'm like, wait a second, Hannah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. May I?
You may.
This property is, sitting down there in a very nice part of the world, in my opinion. The people who are, looking to buy these lots own almost all the common area property around it. It looks like it could be a wonderful little development. My personal thought is that the offer is a little low. But I don't, my thinking is also that, we sell lots all the time. And I don't think it has to be an outrageous counter offer. That's all I've got.
I have a parliamentary why is it?
So again,
I don't know if I'm legally, can I speak now or do I
I
have
have to talk to the
I'm sorry.
Hold on, Rick.
All right,
Okay, amongst the board, first of all,
okay,
comments from the board. I see Mr.
well, this, basically the properties are just the footprints you're gonna build on this.
yes, I think they're 20, they're very, I think they're 2,800, don't quote me on that.
So you basically have tap fees for 2 units that you're gonna have to run about 150.
Or less.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd like to know what it wants to take.
Pardon?
I'd like to know what you have to take.
Oh,
hold on, let's go.
all right, sorry.
You had some.
So So in South Park, these lots are fairly valuable. I agree with him, it doesn't have to be an outrageous counter, but I do believe that this is a lowball offer. I think they should be, I'm not a real estate agent, we do have one on the board, but, I still believe it's probably a $10,000 to $12,000 lot, maybe a little bit more. I would like to hear what he has to say, and I'd also like to hear what Sarah has to say and the city manager has to say on valuation.
like I said, the last meeting, I was looking at it as for that property in South Park, any lot over there, you're looking anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 for the lot. These having, I know they're on the townhouse lot, and I was looking at 12 for lot. Is what I would think.
Okay.
Would be reasonable. I don't know.
There's buyer statements that you've included here.
Pardon?
The buyer statement from Dell International.
That was What is that? For the, that was what they paid for the property around,
Spaces for,
If you look at them now.
that was for the parking lot around there.
for all of them, yeah? I see, okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, there are 47 townhouse sites there. I think 4 of them are built up. The area all around those townhouses does not belong to the townhouse footprint. That's called the common area. Harley, corporate Harley LLC owns all that already, as I understand it.
Correct.
Okay,
So that's what
that's
they're
what,
looking at, the 2 footprint lots. And that's why those other numbers are in there. Because that's a purchase price. They go from common area.
go ahead.
Since the last meeting, we have acquired all of the, townhouse sites, footprints, as you refer to them, all but 4. I think there's, well, you're 2 and 3 others, so all but 5. So there's around 35 that we have acquired, plus the 9 acres of the 2 common, areas. There's 2.41 acres around the paved street that goes directly to the 4 units that are already built. 2.4 acres there, and then a total of 6 acres on each side of that main road. 6.4, I think. It's just shy of 9 acres. So we have 9 acres there and 33, 34, 35 building sites, and we have $114,000 in all of that. I know, you're right, Jim, the lots, you know, I don't know which ones you're referring to, but all we can go by is what we paid for that particular area. And certainly not coming in with a lowball thing. What our intention is to prevent somebody from coming in. I live right there. I gotta go by there. And I don't wanna come in there, coming in from town and have a darn stoplight there because there's 150 cars. If somebody got a hold of that and built 40 townhomes, 2 cars, a family, there'd be 80 additional cars across from the swimming pool. It would be a nightmare. So that's what we're trying to prevent. So there's the numbers, and those are all public records, so we could verify that to justify our non-lowball price. We just think it's fair compared to what we bought the other ones.
Questions?
So you plan to, sorry. Do you trying to build any on there?
Not townhomes. I talked to the HOA people today at length. And I know I gotta go through zoning, Pueblo County, and so forth, but would like to reclassify that and get that 40+ structure, zoning sites, redone into, certainly not, you can't build a home on 28, so it'd have to be rezoned and do far less than 40 and not do townhomes. I can't say they wouldn't be townhomes, but again, I gotta drive by them and I'm doing it, so I don't have to stop at a red light there at that corner.
What are they done now? On 4?
Going forward, yeah.
Yeah. You probably just like
Yeah,
built patio homes or something.
yeah, just a heck of a lot fewer.
I think that the commoner, is it F1? They would, the commoner was pretty restricted as far as not being able to be built on, so.
No,
they're
they're
gonna change
not.
that.
It would have to all go to public zone. Right.
Any other questions? Comments? Let's move on. Okay, budget, we did have a budget meeting on Monday. We're still working on it. Water, everything is great except for water. We're looking at it. We have some expenses with meters. With all of the coming up of grants and enforcement and all of that to get money. We're going to give the board a option on rate increases for different things as to, whether $5 on base, 20% on water, tap fees. We'll draw all of that out, so that way we can, balance our water fund.
Could you explain about the meters, please?
On
Could you explain about the meters?
the meters,
Yeah.
with the last cycle of our meters at phase 3 of it, we still have Applewood, which we have about 60 meters that we still need to replace. Well, with all the new construction and stuff, we haven't been buying meters, ended up using our meters that we bought for replacement. So now we're going to end up having to buy 60 meters from to finish the job. Well, at the end of the year, if we get all of them in by the end of next year, we will capitalize it, which will be about $140,000. That we will end up having to come up with because of the project will be finished at the end of 2020. So that's part of where we're at loss for 2020.
So basically, didn't we say that we were probably short, what, $72,000?
Well, I think you were close to about 91, wasn't it?
Yeah, we looked at it again, it's around 90.
Okay.
And then we're also looking at AOSP, do the calculations. Normally those would, cover our debt. But I'll do the calculations and then we'll.
Questions?
So we ended up using the meters for new construction.
Yes.
That's fine. But they pay a tap fee. Okay, isn't the meter cost supposed to come out of that tap fee?
Yes, it should be.
So why don't we pull the meter cost out of those tap fees? Because they all had to pay it.
Well, so this expense was incurred in 2020, and we haven't got the meters installed, but we still use that money. And it didn't hit our financials because we couldn't capitalize on it, and so this year, our next year will be fixed.
Yeah, but if we hadn't had those meters sitting in the barn,
Mhm.
so to speak, okay, we'd have used that tap money to purchase those meters, to get that service in going. So therefore, that tap money should be allocated for those meters.
It should, well, it was in the budget, but we used that money, so we use it for other things.
So we reallocate money out of the tap money to purchase those meters.
That's one of the things that we're looking at is, do we want to go into reserves to do that? And I would not like to go into.
No, we don't need to go into
Because-
reserves.
Because that's part of the reserves is what we were over for, say, we estimated at 15 taps and we ended up selling 20. So that extra 5 taps is actually went into our reserves as,
Well, it may have ended up in the reserves, but it should have never
I mean, I
went
don't
there.
know if it went to reserve, Jim.
you know. Okay.
No, I believe we spent all that money.
Okay.
So you spend it on the meters, but then you use all those meters for the new construction. So we paid for those meters, but you used the bond money, which shouldn't have been used, it should have been purchasing new meters out of capital, because those weren't part of the capital project or the bond money, which I just found that out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So what we should have done, hindsight's 2020 here, but what we should have done was taken the money out of the tap fees that were paid for those new constructions and put it aside, purchase the meters to replace the ones.
As we go.
So how do we remedy this?
In the future, that's what we need to do, is just, if that meter is there, we should be actually.
I should order one and replace it.
Yeah, I was not aware of that,
Yeah,
so,
that's how it should be. Is if you have 5 in 1 month, you should have ordered 5 meters out of operating to replace those pipes. Continue to get.
So your meters cost about $300.
$350.
Okay, so I'd say when we start talking about tap fees, we're gonna do something with the tap fees, whatever we do, plus $350.
To allocate for meters.
Right, and that would be just a concrete message to everybody, that the money for the meter is in the tap fee.
Yeah, because we can allocate, absolutely, when we do the new tap.
Yeah, and happy for 2025.
But anyway, sorry.
No point.
And what we got now though is we had an unreal, I don't know if that's the right word, we had an unaccounted for debt. of $90,000, $91,000 that the new budget has to be massaged to take care of that. Basically. Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
More questions, comments? So you and Ray are on, but, yeah. So to your tap fee, part of that, the tap is broken into, two chunks. The water chunk, and one of it is infrastructure, and whatever it is cost, like $1,000, whatever we have. That's a
Impact,
for the tap fee.
so impact fee, which is, I believe, $3,500 is impact fee for the system.
The budget issue, you all got a just spreadsheet. And as, and Ray, you got that, I thought about that, and, yeah. Those numbers can be, because it's on a spreadsheet, they can be fixed, messed with, added to whatever, to create these total numbers. I think we all of us, look at our duty to really seriously consider where we're headed 5 years from now. We don't want to end up 5 years from now saying, gosh, we should have raised the rates 5 years ago. And what I, in research, what I found is that a whole bunch of municipalities are actually worse off than we are. And certainly a bunch of them like we are, and they're trying to figure out what to do because they know they're gonna hit a wall in 5 years. We don't wanna do that. It's on us right now. We have to take care of this thing. We have to face the fact that we need to cover the costs of providing water, providing good water for the systems. One of the things we have right in front of us is, an order from the state, and that's gonna cost us money. So we have to do that. We have to face that. We need to be able to pay for it. We're not going to be able to get free money forever. And darn, the money's not free. So we need to be able to pay our own way. And we're not even close, not even close. And somehow we have to be able to show lenders that we have the ability to pay money back, as well as that we're moving forward with stuff. We're talking about infrastructure we build. We need more help. We need all kinds of stuff going into a small enterprise here. In studying my records show that the ranges of monthly bills, water bills, range all the way from $7 up to 120. And across the country, the averages end up being right about the $82. In Colorado, it's closer to the average. It was closer to, I think it's $60. It was different. But Colorado is less expensive than a lot of places. There's a lot of places that charge you $120 a month for water, not for sewer, just for water. So $82 is just across the US, $82 is about average. For family of four, for what it takes for family of four. We gotta be careful. We don't want to be overpriced. We have to have money to be able to fix it. 2%, according to the, I think the AWWA or USDA, it said that if your water charge is to be more than 2% of the median income, it's considered unaffordable. 2.5% for sewer charge. At $86, we're not quite up to 2% yet. And we don't want to get there. On the same token, we've got to face it, and we're gonna get shot at. We're gonna be tarred together, we're gonna be hung, all kinds of things, but we're also gonna be tarred together and hung if we don't fix this water. We just have to face it. We gotta let it go. We gotta deal with it. So we're coming up with a public hearing. And I challenged the entire board to study this and to admit to the fact that we have a task in front of us. We need to study it and come up with a decision and be willing to explain to the public what we're trying to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We talked at the budget meeting about it would be best idea for the district to present during that public meeting a breakdown of what's happening, where are we going, where is money coming from, where is money going, and break it down so it's visible in charts and graphs and common language so that people can get a grasp of what's going on without an acronym for every other word. It's undecipherable. And I think that's one of the ways we have to go about it. We have to build understanding before we can bite the bullet.
I think we also have to, we really need to approach it back. How can we set up a program where we can help people account for it?
One of the things that has caused this district to be in the position it is you had a water study done in 2011. And you were told that you needed to raise rates so much every year, which they never did up until 2008. So here we are. That's why you're in the position you are.
5 years later, we sure don't want to be 5 years later, another 5 years.
Input.
As I understand it, we are almost legally obligated to raise rates to stay qualified for our funding. Once you get certain things.
I think that's right.
10%.
I think we probably all recognize we have to raise rates. My concern is just, do we have the guts to raise it or not?
Man. So last time we raised rates, God knows I'm about the cheapest person on the planet. The last time we raised rates, I told everybody when we were raising rates that it wasn't enough. We raised rates, but we didn't raise them enough. And I hate this piecemeal stuff where we're raising rates here, we're raising rates, 6 months later. Let's just get it to where we need to get it and do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off quickly and let's fix this water system. The reason why they didn't raise rates is because we all like to be loved by our neighbors. We all like to be popular. And we don't like people calling us names. But at the same time, we were elected to do a job. And we need to find out what we need to do to pay our own way. Just like Clint was saying, we gotta pay the system. And let's do it. And let the cards fall where they may. If my neighbors don't like me for doing my job, when they don't like me, sorry. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And
So, and I agree, and of course, along with raised position, we need to be able to sell it to the public. So, what would you suggest we do? Do we need to create a committee to come up with this marketing program?
well, I'm not sure. It's a big thing to get your hands around. But we got a letter from the attorney's office of things that we're doing to improve our situation, water, and when I tried to read through that, I mean, that was supposed to be something that we might parlay into a presentation to the community, and it's unreadable. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's absolutely unreadable. And it's just like I was saying earlier, there's a word, there's an acronym. Is an acronym. That you can't make heads or tails of it. It's without some kind of computer. So we need to come up with something that says what we're doing, why we're raising rates,
And that still doesn't mean people are gonna like it, of course not. But, we've gotta do something other than say, hey, we're raising the rates. We know you don't like the water, but we're gonna do it.
So we have a public hearing in 2 weeks.
Yes,
Between now and 2 weeks from now, we need to come up with it.
Well, do you wanna,
We don't.
Yeah.
Manager needs to.
Now
we can, I would not be opposed to helping, just on to promote the understanding
the
side,
verbiage,
because
that you.
I've done that kind of thing before. But yeah, we've got to do something. Yeah, well, we gotta do some PowerPoint, some visual sheets, visual stuff, whatever.
So I am going for it again. And I'll be on, I'll help as well, but if you would be willing to,
I'm good.
then,
I'm good.
let's, you and I get together with Jim and see if we can't help out. With,
Start building some blocks of
kind of-
understanding.
where we can present this and explain the reality.
And we can post it on the website too, with the presentation. We can do piece by piece and then work in the newspaper. Of course, it's a little different, switching from, a PowerPoint type thing to a document.
Let's do it.
Yep, so without you.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, I do disagree. I think it should be gradual. I don't think it's fair to the people in the community just because previous boards didn't raise them like they should have, that all of them have to take the brunt of it. I feel different about it.
And how do we get there? How long would we do?
I think we should raise them every year. I think it should be gradual. People are getting raises gradually. They didn't just all of a sudden raise wages to where they thought they should be.
the problem is, though, that if we don't raise it immediately to where we're neutral on money, every year, we're going behind. That's the problem.
I understand, but it's
We do.
not the community's fault that they didn't raise them previously.
Well, it's
And it's,
not,
I mean, they should have been raised before this, anybody on this board was here.
We have to bring our, we have to bring our enterprise, and bring our budget into a null position. And we've got to raise the rate significantly just to get there.
We have to raise the rates at least to the point that we can keep funding coming.
I understand that.
That's a good. However much that is, that's the bare bones.
without the funding, we can't fix it.
Without the funding, we can't fix anything.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. Next, you have, the ARPA draw number 11. That is the second red section. It's for $3,079.22. It is basically engineering costs and paperwork. Engineered, there was a few changes that, asking for, material from them as to, so that is the draw. It's a quarterly draw. They should be starting on 10/2. The, looking at this week. Tomorrow, yeah, that's what Ken asked was, can we get 10/2 drained? Almost drained now. Okay. And then we need to open it up. That kind of dried out a little bit too. Questions? That's not a big issue, yeah. Or shouldn't be. Any questions?
Well, we're draining a tank. So we've got a reserve somewhere
Yes.
in our back pocket somewhere, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 mills almost full. Now,
It makes
being
me feel
able to
good.
pull it down and utilize it, we're still not knowing if that line that Yoder put in is perfect. He buried all the valves. So we're at a point where we're waiting on him to dig up the valves and expose it again.
Which I called, we did have Alex, when he was here, he GPSed every valve. So I gave him my diamond maps to transpose all the GPS points into it. so that way we can go out and find them.
Okay.
The owner should raise them. We
Yeah,
shouldn't have,
and he's gonna-
we shouldn't have to do that. We paid him to do that.
Yeah.
They buried him with the road.
So for this request from GMS, questions on it? I struggle with, typically I have a question. I struggle with why they keep bringing up these observation and administration requests. We're over budget on observation and administration.
And a lot of it is communication between the painters, Ken came down one time with, the painters and we reviewed all the tanks and walked through to see what changes we needed, what options we have to do. So that's part of what that is it's that observation request because they need to walk through it and make sure that everything's gonna go as smooth as we need to. Because we also talked about starting with tank one instead of two, what our options were as to what would be the best and quickest way to get through this project. Because it needs to be done by,
So what you're saying is basically every time they come down to take a peek,
it's gonna cost us
$1,000.
more.
that's,
It's gonna cost you money.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
We have a senior professional engineer for 6 hours. And that's not observation, that's just professional services. The observation is 7 hours, that's, I understand, that probably is. The funding administration, 6 hours of a PE. I struggle with that. Anybody else?
Do you have a breakdown here of this cost?
Yes. It will be in the bid packet. You can look at it. Take care. Okay, next. Last month, so we changed IT people and moved all of our stuff in. It came to our attention that our server is actually 12 years old. It is kind of on its last leg. It's creating a few problems for us, as well as we are looking at other options too. With Cassell, one's gonna get a price from Cassell to do Cassell and store our stuff in the cloud or Cassell only. But as for our materials and stuff that we keep on hand, it needs to be on our server. So with that, the new server, which we were expecting that we were gonna end up with server, it's under section 9. It's going to be $5,734 for the server and swap out and put in. With a net additional $129.95 to a month to maintain the funds. Being that it is over $5,000, only that comes aboard and ask for the funds to do it. We are looking at taking it out of capital for admin to replace it, which we did put $5,000 in capital for admin. Because we knew it was gonna happen sooner or later. But that's where we're at with that.
So it won't solve all of our IT problems. Right now, we have other issues.
Such as,
They said our configuration is, outdated, and so all of our stuff is getting suspended. We have a DNS issue, I'm not quite sure what that is, but he's gonna be working on that tonight. Mapping, I don't know. Our IT, Excel guy said our IT team, our internal team changed the mapping, he's not sure why they did that, so I've been down for like 2 days. We've been trying to fix it, Sam's been off, I don't know how many days. So it's really, hitting us hard, but it's It's not the server, it's other items. It's, I don't know, it's getting suspended because of the DNS is what they call it. Everything keeps suspending and then we can't get back in.
Thank you.
Questions? Questions?
So what I'm hearing though is that when the place is server, not gonna fix them.
Well,
It's gonna help.
It's been recommended by a couple of the companies that we got IT consultants from, that it's just way too old and it will, go down sooner than later.
So we need to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, CCAAC, there is one new bill on it. It is a shed on Santa Fe. That information is in the packet. It's under the first tab. It was inspected. The CCAC approved it. Anything odd here? Questions? Looks like it was Bob Smith that did it. And he, offered some explanation and stuff. It looked like he did a pretty good job. Anything else? Read the big books. In order for the business of the board to be conducted in the most effective and expeditious manner, it's necessary that all persons present maintain a demeanor hostile toward the board, staff, and each other. Conduct that appears threatening or aggressive will not be tolerated. Shouting, seeking out of order, or use of offensive gestures similar are not acceptable. Such behavior shall constitute the forfeiture of your right to remain independent and made. If one order brought to the board's attention by council or any board member, the chairperson, resulting in being asked to leave the meeting by the chairperson or one refusal being escorted out of the meeting by the proper board. I do have, Jessica Hoff has come in. We had this last meeting, we were going to set up she put in another letter. We were going to set up a repayment agreement, was not met within any time frame within that. Do you want to speak, Jessica, on this?
Sure,
If you would, please introduce yourself.
sure, my name is Jessica Hoff. I have a elderly parent who has some dementia and traumatic brain injury issues. Her behavior has become more and more erratic and she is no longer at the house. She has been placed into a facility. We wound up with like a $2,000 to $3,000 water bill, and I didn't realize that it was like running in the backyard. That's the only thing I can come up with because I certainly didn't see it on our timer in the front yard. The bill's down to I think 2,100. I was told that the board had agreed to allow me to decrease my payment arrangement. Just to kind of back up, when I first moved to town, I was given a PO box of 2053, and then the whole post office shut down, and everything was moved to Pueblo, and then it reopened, and they assigned somebody else 2053 as well. And so, unbeknownst to us, they were assigning it A and B, and we were getting the wrong mail, not getting the mail. So I wasn't getting a water bill, or would have been in here saying, why is my bill $300, $400, $500 a month? It's my understanding that the board had agreed to allow me to not pay the $200 on top of the bill, because the bill went from $160, which is our normal bill, like $300 to $500, and then I had to pay the $200 that I had committed to. And I just don't have $500 to $600 a month. So I was appreciative of that, and then we had another blip with mom, and I wasn't able to get in here last week to sign any papers. The bill hasn't come due since then. I paid the $550 last month. The next bill, I guess, is like 300, and there'll be another, 200 on top of that, which I don't have. And the board, I guess, you agreed that I could increase my additional payment by $200, but I wasn't able to get in last week, and so my water's been shut off. So I'm at home with no water right now, and nothing's really changed in the interim. I haven't racked up any additional charges. I haven't not paid another bill. So I was hoping that I could still come up with some other payment arrangement, because I just don't have $500 a month.
Questions or not? One of the things, looking at it, is, I was able to talk to her yesterday about it. She says that she can do 50 plus the bill. We looked at it, and with 50 plus her bill, it would take you 38 months to do it. Whereas if, I think we talked about $100 being kind of the minimum the last time we talked about this. But I think that would be suitable if we can do 100 plus that. And like I said, I'm willing to work on it, as long as she comes in and you can do it straight out. But it's up to the board as a decision to, do this.
Well, when did we come up with that, policy amendment, to modify the billing? Wasn't that just 2 weeks ago?
Yes,
Okay,
and
that seems awful fast for that to come apart.
well, we did talk, I did call her on Wednesday after we, had the meeting, and I told her, yeah, the board has agreed that we can redo an agreement on it. And we set up an appointment for Thursday, and it was never met. So then we called her back again on Monday, left a message on the phone, and told her, we need to still do this, and, never heard anything back. So then I called her again on Thursday, or that was Thursday, left her another message and said, if you don't come in today, we're just gonna have to shut you off. So that's where we were at, and so we waited until Monday, gave her the opportunity for Thursday to Friday. So when that Monday came around, that's when we shut it off.
If I can respond, another with mom, and I dropped my phone, and I went into T-Mobile today to see, like, if it can switch over or what, but we couldn't find those messages. With respect to the payments, I'm not opposed to paying $300 a month. If $300 a month represents like a bill of 160 plus, that's more than an additional 50. But I can't do $350 plus 200. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I can commit to 300 a month, and I'm hoping, my mom's gone now, so I can't imagine that the bill's gonna be $300 next month. It's 300, I'm told I'm supposed to pay 300 and some dollars on the 25th. And with my payment arrangement, that would be $550, and I just don't have, I can't keep borrowing from friends. I just don't have it.
Suggestions?
Well, man, that's a long story. Well, I don't mind, I wouldn't be opposed to, making making a lower payment arrangement, because I'm assuming nobody's living in the house right now.
It's just me.
It's just you.
It's my home.
Okay, so there's no way you're gonna use $150 a month unless you got a real bad leak somewhere, which I would highly suggest you check it.
Well, that's what we were trying to figure out. So he did an RFI on one of the a month, and he could see that it was left on from like 6 p.m. to midnight or something like that, something crazy. So we had like dramatic, huge uses where I suppose she went in the backyard and watered the lawn and didn't turn it off.
Well, a
But
leaking toilet will do that, believe it or not.
Okay.
You really need to check your toilets, because a leaking toilet will use so much water, it's unbelievable.
Jim, do you think that it's a leak? But Because he said it shuts itself, like it shut off.
From midnight to 6 in the morning, there's no. From 6 o'clock in the morning, you start seeing gradual, people getting up, showering, that kind of stuff. And then during the whole day, he's using 200 gallons an hour, every hour, all the way up until 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Well, so the water usage, of course, is not, that's something we need to deal with. The big issue that we have,
Yeah.
got here is how can we move forward?
I wouldn't mind, reducing her payments to $300 a month, however, I would put a caveat on that, that if you miss one single payment, the deal is off. Because I would not be up for this to be a continued revolving thing.
Well, and I understand that, but I would even liken it to a leak. I mean, I know it's not a leak. And, when I lived, in Dove Valley, we had a issue where we did have a leak and they still made us pay for it. And they, you showed the receipt that you had the leak fixed and everything. It's not like we took the water, we appropriated it for use and we said, woohoo, we're not gonna pay for it. If I would have known, I would have, her behavior has spiraled so much so fast that I wasn't aware of what was happening.
Go ahead.
What I have to say is that, I'm sympathetic, but I'm also concerned that water is the basic element of life. And if you want water, I think it would be on you to communicate strongly with the Metro District that's trying to help you. I just think that it's not all about us trying to reach you. You have to be fighting for yourself to
Well, I
fix
paid
this.
into the bill,
I know,
and I was overwhelmed by another $350 bill. And I told her that I would be back and I have to figure out my finances. And then in the interim, all the stuff with mom, and then I'm shut off
Yeah.
again. So
you still have to keep in touch.
I understand that. And, I've been a homeowner for 20 years. My last house I sold for $637,000. I did not pay my water bill.
Let's put this on. I think we want to make it work somehow. But we need to follow through to make it work. So your suggestion
I would like to make a
of,
suggestion.
go
I think we need to follow our rules and regulations on this, which would open up the Pandora's box.
ahead. Then I think that's, when we voted last meeting, we voted to allow the manager to run things out. Right? And
That's just my suggestion.
so we've already voted on that. And I think we'll have to continue to do that. The other side of that, if you would, if you let me contact me after meeting, I want to talk to you after meeting. There is an ARPA grant out there from the federal government for a water bill. It's a one-time grant, which you have to apply for. You have to go through an application. And it's a one-time grant that you can get to pay up to, I don't know what it is, or a past water bill. So if you would talk to me after meeting.
I did give her a few forms that Nancy filled the other day that were different sheets, which included leaf and a few other things, so she may have it, I don't know.
This is different.
Okay.
It's a different thing than we. Okay? All right, so anybody else? Who has any other citizens?
Nobody else can say that.
Anybody else have anything they want to say? I'm gonna close this meeting, close the study session. Close the study session, open the other meeting, before you have. And 6:55, I'm going to the
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
to join inside the club with the association. Thank you. Okay, well, that's a minute show that we have a full board, all members present. We get the approval agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda.
With that, I'd like to add, just, in the agenda, items.
Oh, that was all that, wasn't it?
No, I didn't put it on this. But she brought in the note yesterday.
Oh, I thought I saw that.
That was on the last one.
Excuse me. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve an amended agenda, including, Mrs. Hall.
And this,
Second.
moving second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah. And, minutes.
Sorry you're late, you guys without computers and stuff, so we had 4 days of no.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of study session October 31st, regular meeting October 31st, and CCA October 31st. Okay.
Moving second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes, carried. Bill Fair. Anything unusual in here? Other than the fact that it's done too much money. Anybody have questions?
Not on this one.
Of course, I do. Are we on the pumps now?
Pardon?
Pumps?
Yeah, we had, the rack well running, for 2 months.
About a month and a half, 2 months.
To help out with, the water issue when we were having the algae and stuff. We were trying to put clear water into the lake so that would help, which it did help us in that situation. We had turned on the 18-hole well, to check and make sure I had normal use on it.
Exercising.
Yeah, to make sure it's working, so we have round pumps, but they're basically all shut down now except for 18.
The 18, I turned it off last Thursday. Mark's getting ready to water, so I turned it back on. We'll turn it off probably Friday.
That's all I have. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, pay the bill.
Anybody second?
Okay.
Moving second. All in favor, pay the bill, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Financial report, this was my fault. Yvonne is planning to have the financials in. We've ran into an issue with, our asset management plan and getting so she ended up, I pulled her off of the financials to, help us get that into the lawyer for our P&A. Or
All right, when,
asset management plan.
next meeting then?
We're
Um,
hopeful.
I've been working on them all day, so I'm trying to get them out, but I have to have them for the budget draft.
You mentioned, asset management, is that the banner maps?
No, asset management is the one that Scott, Thomas, and we got Yvonne involved in it. We've been working on, Scott and I have been working on it, and Alan Parks pulling the pieces together as to number of valves, how much linear pipe. But it got to the point now that with the one, we needed her in to get the right figures. We were able to use audit figures up to the point when they asked for the enforcement order, asked for all of your numbers to turn it in. That's when we wanted to involved in it to make sure that it was accurate to the point that we needed it.
Well, and it was a deadline.
And there was a
The attorney
deadline.
called and said we had to have it done.
Friday, so.
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, operational. I'll start off with Darius and Silva's here. Cold Spring Water Plant, 1,328,000 gallons of water has been put in there. That plant produced 16,842,000 gallons. Full DBP, which is what samples.
Disinfection byproduct.
Okay. We have doubled our sampling, which is brought up to about $12,000 plus for shipping and everything. We only have our December monthly samples to finish up this year. New sludge pump was put into our backwash basin. We had an issue where we had rented a gas-powered trash pump. Somebody had walked up and took it, and we found it on Isabella. I don't know whether it was kids, whatever, just being, we got tired of carrying it and set it down. Sheriff's Department called me and said, hey, pump yours. So I think it's a good idea that with this project, hopefully we can have our whole area fenced in up there to secure it. Because we do have a lot of people that are walking through there, and I think it in our area from stuff like this. Viking, like I said, they're going to be starting refurbishing tank 2, tank 3, or approximately 2.6 million gallons is in it at this time. Wastewater plant received 7.8 million treated and returned 8.11 million gallons back to the river. The pumps have been rebuilt. We still have a leak that we're trying to track down. When we turn on the pumps, it starts to fill our vault, and we need to get it before we can start pressing again. We're looking at the VFDs and blowers again, getting some pricing on it. Remember the last time we looked at it, it was about $80,000 to put in all the new VFDs, the sensors and all of that. We're looking at doing that, the oxygen sensor. With that, we also got a report as to how much it would save us in electricity by going with VFDs with the slow start and that. And actually, it would almost pay for itself within 2 to 3 years of the savings of electricity.
The slow start is 2 days, 2 days start.
No,
3 phase, but it starts, when it starts off slow. All right, and then it builds itself up to its high peak. Right now, when the blowers come on, it's 0 to 1,000 instantly.
So it would have paid itself off had this board approved that at that time.
okay, VFD blowers had completed this, okay, in the field, we now have, new snowplow blades for one of the F-250s. So now we have, both of our trucks are set up with snowplow blades. We have our, grader for our gravel roads and our backhoe. We also have Josh, we got a blade for his vehicle, so that way he can do his parking lots and will help free up our guys and his make sure that everything was met covered in a reasonable amount of time. The water sewer taps were installed, complete compliance checks for retaining work to begin. The dump truck now stops, new brakes, and gate brake is working. Backhoe started and electrical repairs are now complete. Golf course, October for this year was $36,269 compared to last year, which was about $10,000 less. Year to date, we're at $471,980 which is about 40,000 ahead of, well, I'm sorry, 33,000 ahead of last year. Although we were closed for 4 days due to snow and had other few odd conditions, we managed to have the best October by almost $10,000. We were named best of Southern Colorado by Fox 21, beating our walking stick 4 mile Pueblo County for the top spots, proving that the combination of having course in good shape and great customers, we can draw and play the ball over the range. Only got rainfall over between October 1st to November 8th. We had 0.1 of an inch. Fairways, approaches, everything's been winterized, greens, collars, fertilized, green sprayed with maintenance spray, wet nine sprayed with long wetting agents. For green, we sodded that areas, bunker excavation. They went in and trimmed out all the bunkers on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 17, and 18 for next year so that they can add sand in. They're not going to add sand in right now because the wind will blow it all out and it's going to get it ready for next year. We've got a new computer, central controls, software, antenna, computer hardware, satellite, motherboards. That was all part of the CTF grant from Pueblo County. Was $58,000 to upgrade all the equipment.
That's the one where the FCC made us an arrow on.
Yes, yeah.
I just wanted to comment that Mark, Answer grabbed me one day and took me to one of those boxes and explained that whole thing to me, which was very cool.
Testing so far, everything has been running smoothly with few issues. Of course, irrigation continues as participation levels are low and night temperatures are up. The system will be winterized as soon as weather consistently cold. Shop Rick Hollville will be our new maintenance mechanic. I'm going to mention his name. Rick got organized, shop organized, shops remodeled to add in part storage and shop efficiency. Some preventative winter maintenance have begun. Campground, October 2023 was $5,608.78. Year to date is $78,988.58. Soccer season is over. Our next new sport will be basketball. Registration will start in December with play beginning in January. Pickleball has moved inside for the winter months at Crater. We have issues with access to Crater Gym as the key system needs to be fixed. We hope this happens soon so that we don't have issues. We don't have issues with basketball players running well. Mowing operations are all done for this season. We have the ATV plow ready to go. We purchased a small plow for the Parks and Rec vehicles, which will help our campground parking lots. We should take some stress off of the ATV plow. He had also a proposed rate increase that will bring to the board for the campground. He's looking at raising non-electric from $20 to $25, 30 amp from $30. They'll keep it at that, but the 50 amp from 40 to 50. Usually with all of your campgrounds, it runs per amp, the price, you know, up in line, I think it was $65 for a 50 amp breaker. I know Neil knew more, like in Westbrook, he went up there, it was more on the,
It was more, it was, yeah, it was pretty expensive. I think it was 65, and then they charged per vehicle.
yeah. That's one of the other things that board will be down.
Were those numbers in the budget?
How they were.
So. Well,
That's, it would be,
do we have to?
No, I was just saying.
yeah,
Talked about that today and we went, oh, yeah. I expected to send my Friday.
okay. No, that, he just gave it to me on Friday, that he was looking at doing this,
Okay.
so.
Just as long as they're in the proposed budget.
Well, it's something that the board would have to approve first before we can do it.
Was there a reason why there wasn't an increase in the 30 amp?
Because he thought that he's going off of the amperage, I guess. And so being a 30 amp breaker, $30 is normal. I don't know.
No idea.
I'll have to
He's
ask.
going according to his competition, I'm assuming.
Yes.
It makes sense if that's what they're charging.
Okay, like that with measurements. For November 2nd, we have 13.5 feet of water. Our 4 inches dry, 6 inch is 1 minute is less than 30 millimeters. Feet was dry. Weir was at 0.13. Pit was dry, and it was respected by grade. 11.8 was same thing, 15.5. 4 inch was dry, 6 inch was 1 minute equals 30 millimeters. Seed was dry, weir was at 0.12, and the pit was dry, and was done by grade.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing out of the ordinary, it's all the same. November 2nd for the piezometer, one was at 17.9, it was dry. Number 3 is a void. Number 4 was at 21.1. Number 5 was at 20.7. Number 6 is at 26.1 in inch dry. Number 11 was at 14.2. 12 was at 23, and level was at 15.5. So the same thing on 11, on November 11th, it was 17.9 for 1. 3 was void, 4 was 20.2. Number 5 was 20.6. Number 6 was still 26.1. Actually, number 11 went down to 14.1, and 12 was at 23.1. Lake Level, like I said, was called 13.
Okay, that's, committee reports. What we have, one thing we really have open there is, and you guys are doing okay, the budget, we're gonna be seeing that anyway, so. Anything unusual there to report?
No, just that surprise deal in the water area that, you know, like Yvonne said something with the meters that happened back in 2020, but we didn't deal with it properly. We gotta fix it now. As far as the budget, I think that it's going along really well. Once again, I'd like to commend staff for not scrapping with each other and to get along okay. I think we'll be ready. It's time.
Appreciate your efforts on that. Newsletter, which others, is that Sarah? I think it's your turn with the sprint, did it to June. You did one for Greg, Greg did it, Ray did it, so. we can come back.
You need it, fine.
I think, yeah.
Last minute.
27, 28. You got a week and a half, you won't be there.
Your Monday.
I'll do it,
Wanna do it?
$5. I'll fill the breach. You owe me one.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Attorney report? Attorney, I put in, kind of the synopsis of what Ray talked about in our, as to, our meeting. And, what was going on with our enforcement order as to where we're at with that. And like we said, we kind of need to work on that. Yeah.
You should do something with that.
Yeah. Okay. But that's all. Yeah. All right. Okay, agenda items, you have land sale agreement number 4724404 008 and 4724404 009.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I'd make a motion at this time, to counter the land sale agreement of lots, 4724404 008 and 4724404 009 to $12,000 per lot.
We'll get a second.
I'll second that.
We'll have a second, open for discussion. Questions? So what do you think?
I don't disagree with that. I think those are valuable to the area. And I know that the other lots are by far bigger, but there's a lot of value in South Park. There's value to having an HOA. There's, I think there was quite a bit more than what you offered.
May I ask that you don't sell that for anything less than 12,000? They've been sitting there since 2005 and you haven't had an offer on it.
I wouldn't go to sell it for less.
I wouldn't vote to sell for less.
Right. Well, again, we're paying.
But the board's replaced, understand, every couple years.
I'm not expecting them to get to this day.
Ray?
It's just based upon what,
Um,
it is valuable. I live there. I know it's valuable. And I also know what we paid for 30 others. And that's 4 or 5 times what we're paying. And, as long as you're on the sell somebody else cheaper, that's fine. I would question again, it's been sitting there for 18 years. We haven't had, I don't think, I haven't been here. Correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't had any offers at all. And, but if you're not gonna sell for anything less than that, the next guy, I can't object to it.
I just feel like you got a fantastic deal on the other one. That makes you feel
So let's move on to discussion about it. What, you have any comment?
No, I think that there is a possibility that you may still build on it. And that'll be worth a lot in South Park if it is built on, if it's guaranteed to stay empty, that would be one thing, but possibility to build on it raises the value quite a bit.
Ray?
well, I think that, I was also thinking about a counter. My position is gonna be that if the price is $12,000 and if you feel makes us the high bidder, then your goal, which is to keep the land vacant, what you stated, if that price is prohibitive, then you've gotten your wish for free.
Keep the land, I wouldn't say vacant, but, disallow it from being chopped up into 50 lots. Whoever did that, that's just my opinion. Because if you get somebody, I don't know, it was a long time ago, whoever did it.
Yeah.
No, we need to go.
Thank you guys for your
Uh,
consideration.
Now, of course, by us making a count, it doesn't mean we can't recount. So, you know,
Well,
that's.
let's shorten the thing, I'll split the difference.
That's up to you. Let's vote on this.
Oh,
Ray, how do you
What's the motion?
12,000
go?
for,
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane? Yeah, I'll vote yes.
and then
Then it's up to you.
Send out paperwork,
Send it over.
and then you
it's
can
gotta be
count.
a formal counter,
right.
but you can count it.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, AWWA, did get a hold of them today, our membership for it. Last time we were a member was 2014. I was able to talk to her and she can reinstate us for 365 being a small utility, which if we were a large utility, it's almost like sometimes that amount. She sent the paperwork as to what needed to be done. Feel that it would be a good bargain for us. We're gonna get a motion on that.
Mr. Chairman, I move that, Colorado City Metro District joins AWWA.
Okay.
Move and second, discussions, questions?
I think the key point here, and getting back to our public relations, when we make water rate increases, when we have verifiable data, it helps. So I think that instead of like in the budget meeting, when we said, well, we gotta raise, keep up with inflation, we need to be able to show where our water losses are and where we're gaining, and we need to hit the books. If it comes along with the software.
We also have classes and everything that we can join. I was given the choice, rural water or AWA by Dave Valdez. And I picked rural water. So it was something they did to save a ton of money, a buck a day.
With that, please.
Yeah, we'll bet you know it does.
Yes.
Sarah? Joe votes yes, I agree.
Yes.
Ray?
Oh,
Okay, next, we have a new server for office.
Make a motion that we operate a new server for
Move and second, discussion, question? Okay,
Well, I agree 100%. We need to get the new server. Especially if it's fixing to go out, but it almost seems to me like we're, addressing a future problem when we have a current problem. We're not addressing that current problem. So what are we doing to address the current problem?
We are addressing the problem with the trying to figure out how they have put this together. And I talked to Nick on Sunday, the guy that is working for, one point. He's trying to figure out how they have it mapped, which he is mapping it and trying to get the system where he understands it to the point that it is going to be a problem. When they did this, he told me, he says he talked to somebody and it was more like a college project when they put it together than what it should be.
She's actively working on it probably right now, because, we have to remap her drive. And we've got to go back to shop or,
Anything else? Let's go. Ray?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, next we have, ARPA draw number 11.
I'll make a motion at this time that we put the ARPA draw number.
Move to second discussion. Questions?
I just wanted to say on the record that, this is kind of ridiculous that the one part of this project that's going over budget is paperwork. I mean, how does a bean counter cost more than they say they're gonna cost? But I realize we need to pay these bills. So, but, you know, that is something that maybe we need to look into. Because maybe they're padding their pockets where they shouldn't be. I'm not quite sure how we can check into this stuff a little bit better.
That's part of the audit, is to make sure that what they're charging us is the correct fee that we set up to begin with, and check their hours, and that's something that should be done.
To your point, the hard part about this is you almost have to, have, somebody bird dog it. I know, you have to watch them, so I mean,
We
it's,
did last year. We could not get all of our documentation, it was months later, so we got to be on top of this year.
that's the task.
I'm just saying this section should not be over budget. Bean counters are bean counters. When they've done this stuff for a gazillion years, they should know the amount of time it's gonna take them. And I don't understand how it is all of a sudden, it took me twice as long this time to count 100 beans than it did last time. You know? Anyway, I yield.
Anybody else? Well, I'll make that same point. This is the second time we've gotten the payment request from GMS for paper. It's over budget. The last one was over budget. Let's vote. What? Did you have something?
No, I was gonna vote.
Okay.
You were looking at me.
I was
so
looking at you.
I thought you were.
I prepared for you to say.
Non-verbal is, vocal. Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Yes,
No.
there you go.
Okay, next you have, Jessica Hoff. No, we added one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with Jessica Hoff,
Jessica Paul.
What was your thought of a motion?
I make a motion that we, attempt to implement the plan to realistically allow Ms. Hoff to pay her bill. That's all I can think of right now. We just, go ahead, I'm sorry, that's it, that's all I got.
What is it?
No, sir.
Move and second, discussion.
May I? I'm always about communication. I'm not sure how the communication's going. I think, phone calls are good, texts, emails are better, both ways. So that, you've got some documentation, and you've got some documentation, and you can go back into the flurry that is your life and, you know, remind yourself what has to be done. And then the next time we have a meeting, that evidence, if you're not fulfilling your side of the bargain, then we know that we made the effort and then we're done.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have documented the effort, and every time she's coming, we try to get PO boxes and contact information, and, every contact is noted in the record.
And with respect to the PO box, they denied my new PO box. So then I had to go to RIDE, ask for a PO box. And so you have a PO box that I was assigned. But as of right now, I don't know if it's been updated in their system because they returned everything again.
Okay, what we need to do is just vote on this and then just continue to move forward with this.
Okay. Is there any way that I can like sign something tonight and just be done with it so I don't?
I probably not, honestly, but because of time. But I guess tomorrow,
Yeah. Don't come in tomorrow. Morning.
so let's,
I have a meeting between one and two. So
let's vote on Ray's motion. How do you vote?
No,
Sarah? Ray?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Okay, next, we have CCAC. Let's say we have one new construction, it's a shed on 4639 Santa Fe.
Is, did I confuse myself in this one?
No,
Those are, you can make a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the shed on 4649 Santa Fe Avenue.
Second.
Move the second. Question, discussion. Vote. Sarah, vote.
Yeah.
Ray?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Clint?
Yes.
Ray votes yes.
no action items at this time. Go to old business.
The road resolution.
We haven't worked on it. We've been busy with the lawyer, everything else.
And I think like, because of other priorities and stuff going on, but we do need to. We need to, kind of set a time, when we do that, let's say within a month or so.
Yeah, we sit down maybe next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the week, we've been kind of putting it off.
Tuesday and Wednesday,
All right, any new business?
yeah, I did meet with your mom and Jim and Misty and Courtney and Josh with the grant meeting today. Developers, it was a great job, Misty's incredible. But that kind of brought up another issue that maybe it's time to actually outsource all of our grant writing to get some of the workload off of Jim and Don, so they can focus on other things. I think it's kind of past due, and I think they checked into it a little bit. I know they've been working with Misty as well on that and getting some points of contact to facilitate that. I think we may need to. I think it's best interest, long-term best interest of the district to go down that path.
So what's the next step? We have to find the grant writer or whatever, and then approve with that,
Apparently,
I think that's one of the things that we have to look at is, are we, instead of putting on a payroll, if we can find one that runs off a percentage of the grants, something like that, that would,
That's what you'd want anyway. I think
Yes,
that's.
I think that would be easier for bookkeeping if you did it based on percentage commission type of writing, as opposed to just trying to divvy it up by department or whatever.
I know the only bad thing about going that way, a lot of your grants, they will not pay that portion. for that rider or whatever, we would still have to come out of our funds to pay them.
To pay the grant writer.
Yeah,
But if the grant writer is good enough, it's worth it to us.
Or let me ask this question, Mr. Chairman, if we do hire a grant writer and we do run into a head wall there that, it's harmful for us to use a professional grant writer for some reason, but then we use the grant writer as a consultant. And then Mr. Chairman, you recommend it. Yeah, what I would say.
I know nothing about that.
That's all you have to consult.
You just signed the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I've got lots of consultants.
Well, it kind of goes to the point of, we still get hammered all the time by putting so much on our manager's shoulders. So yes, I think I agree. We need to get some help.
between me and John.
So we did get a recommendation, it's not for a grant writer, but like an administrator or a grant. So I sent that to Jim, because Carolyn understands the burden, but we're looking at, like, what, 5 grants next year, just for Parks and Rec. One of them will be, an audit, an extra audit, so we're looking at like 3 audits next year.
So as a new business item, yes, I think that makes sense. Then our next step though is, what do we need to do?
Let me check in research, if where we can go, like Yvonne said, I'll check into that. I'll check into, we had a couple of people that have presented a resume as grant writers and stuff, and I'd like to get in contact back with them as to what they want, at the time they want, or we're gonna like grants, but we want to be on the payroll. We want to check that part. We didn't have the money and we had to do it. And
So we'll just put it on the agenda for the next meeting, for the board to,
get some
approve that.
options as to what we can do and where we can go with it.
What is that? Okay. Anything else? Good. So I'm going to close the regular meeting and we're going to go into executive session.
Oh, I gotta make a motion.
So I'm going to.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to go into executive session for Colorado Revised Statute 24-6/40249, personnel matters, review of District Manager James Ecker as requested by the District Manager.
Move the second. All in favor, say aye. Those are. This one's important.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Okay,
Get your recorder there.
got it. We are recording. Bring the regular meeting back to order.
It is
8:30?
8:27, because I think we're gonna have that 8:20.
8:27.
I make a motion at this time that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Move the second, the meeting adjourned.
I just fire those up, I don't care.
Okay.
How do we go? Okay.
All right. Who wants to sign the future?
Okay.
And, the present, this and stuff. Hold on a minute. Here's yours. These last. Yep, thanks, sir.
There you go.
Yes, you do. No, don't need that.
Okay.
I won't. Wait.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Not in the next meeting.
We're going on vacation.
And I will be zooming with.
I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be zooming with because I will be, in a situation where I can't.
I'm that way every day. I love
you out, good.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thanks.
Good meeting. All right, then.
Thank you.
So with, that piece of paper I gave you, I would like to be able to go back to those people.
Let me get an answer from Craig.
Right.
Because that's, he's gonna check on that.
Because the gentleman is a former board member.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah,
it,
like I said, I don't know who did that, but when they